This video is not meant to happen. Good morning, good afternoon, how are y'all doing? My name is Jacob, welcome back to Tired Reads, and welcome to my July wrap-up. My phone is giving me problems with this, so we're doing this quick today. First up, I read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this book 5 stars. We follow 2 timelines. One timeline is Nina and her 3 siblings, Kit, Hudson, and Jay, and their end of the year party, or end of the summer party. Then we follow Mick Reba, and who's featured in 7 Husbands as one of the husbands. I believe he's like the gullible Mick, and how he met his wife, June, and how terrible of a person he really is. I love this book for the family dynamics. The atmosphere of the beach was on point. I hate the beach, but love the vibes, the 80s, everything about this. I just loved it. What really hit home for me was the family dynamics and relationships and all that. Next up, I read De-Evolution by Max Brooks, which I gave 2 stars. I did not like this book. This book is about this couple that goes to like a remote area in California, I think. Mount Rainier is a volcano, and the volcano erupts, and Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever the plural Bigfoot is, comes down the mountain and starts attacking them. We go on to like that whole like, the atmosphere was definitely a spooky, but other than that, I was like, But I liked what did I like? There's one thing I liked. Wasn't much that I liked. I didn't like his like eco agenda pushed on me. I'm all for it, but there's just like overdone in the book, if that makes sense. Like it was too much for the book. I also found the characters annoying. And I didn't like the found footage, like the journals, entries and stuff. I usually like that in books, but for this it just didn't flow right. Like I thought it was like a real person, like a real event that happened, but then it's not, clearly. And then the interviews didn't make sense to what was happening. I just didn't like it. Not for me. Maybe it's for you. Then I read Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, which is book 2 in the Cassie Blake series. In this we follow, I'm actually still recording. In this we follow Cassie Blake and her family. Her mom and dad are ghost hunters. Her dad's like the educational, like historical person, and her mom is the spooky person. I picture them as Ed and Lorraine from The Conjuring. So in this one, they are in Paris, exploring the catacombs, and it's a fun time. It's adorable. I like it. I like Victoria Schwab and her writing, and I'd recommend it. It's a good middle grade. Maybe if you're getting into middle grade, this would be a good one to start. I feel like this could be the gateway to many more middle grades for me. Then I read Remote Control by Nida Okorafor. This book is about this girl in, I want to say Nigeria, but I don't think that's correct. Nigeria, who this like alien species comes down after she climbs the trees and watches the stars, and she like smells it, and now she's like the daughter of death, and she can kill people by this green light that comes out of her. To me, it's like she can't control it, so it's more like very emotion driven. It's a very fun sci-fi book. I enjoyed it. I gave it, what did I give it? 4 stars. It was fun. It was a fresh take. It had like a very futuristic kind of cyberpunky like setting when we got to one part. It was very specific. We got to one part and it was like that. So maybe not, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I kind of wish there were more in this series, or wish it was a series, but I don't think it is, so I'm just gonna live content with that. And maybe I'll reread it again, because I don't know if I was paying attention to a lot of it because I was on a walk, because I was trying to get through it, but I enjoyed what I actually remember, which is a lot. Next I read The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. This was a random book. This was the random book that I picked off my TBR from the number generator. I gave this book 2 stars.
That's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got something to say. Everybody.
It's controversial, I know, but I did not like this book. The only thing I really liked about was the narration of death. The narrator was death. Is all I liked. I didn't like the plot. I just didn't see the point. to be fair. Like, I've read a lot of World War II, Nazi Germany type books, and I just didn't think this was the best take on it. Like, I don't really understand the hype of it. Like, if I were to recommend you a World War II book, it would be Night by Eli, what's his name? I'll just pop it up. Night, I recommend that. That's a much wonderful account. Yeah, that's all I got right now. But it just didn't, like, I didn't care for the story being told from, like, the Nazi Germany perspective, even though our main girl wasn't German. I believe they were communist. It just wasn't for me. But you know, maybe it's for you. But I guess finally off my TBR, I had this on here forever. As you can see, the book is a little busted crusted, but we did it. And then I read The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. I gave this book 3 stars. This was like a fun, fantastical urban fantasy set in 1920s about this black man who's playing guitar on the corner of a street, and then he gets swept up in this like magical society, I believe. I'm gonna be honest, this one I don't remember quite a lot, which I think I was just going through it that day and I couldn't retain things. But from what I remember is like it's like magical. This guy who's making deliveries and he recognizes the page, so he steals the page, and apparently that page allowed the person who the book was being delivered was the final key to being super powerful in their magical ways. This was fun. I like the narration. I would pick up more books from him. So yeah. Next up, speaking of World War II, I read A History of What Comes Next. Sylvia Neuval. This was a 5-star prediction for me of the year, and I gave it 4 stars. So I enjoyed the writing. Well, that's a lie. I enjoyed one of the characters more than the other. I didn't like our main character, Mia. I liked her mother. I thought her mother was much more interesting in the way she was talking. I liked the writing. There's a lot of dialogue, but the dialogue wasn't in quotes, it was just in dashes. This is about these 2 women that come from a long line of women where they can only be 2 alive. They're constantly being hunted by the hunter, and they are like the leaders of science, and they always try to push society forward. So in this book, they're not kidnapping, but like getting a German scientist for America and then for Russia to create the space race, because their goal is to get back into the stars. What I got from this is that they are aliens of some type, and they are being hunted, but they're not because of their backstory of being this only female tribe. And that whole meaning behind it, which I thought was fun. I am excited for book 2. Maybe I'll like that one a little bit more. I would recommend this one. This one was fun. Next up, I read Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman, and this, 10 out of 10, 5 stars. Adorable, this close to crying.
The album's amazing, song to song, I can't stress it enough. She could release every song off here and it could be a single. I'm telling you, it's amazing. So, it's an A+.
I loved the topics of trigger warnings for self-harm, eating disorders, and homophobia and transphobia, I believe. This book is a continuation of Nick and Charlie, and they are taking a summer trip in Paris together with their class. They finally come out together as a couple to their class and friends, and it was adorable. I loved everything about this one. I want to pick up volume 4, at least I think that one's out, but I want to pick it up because it's just so adorable. But overall, it's adorable. The art style is 500 page, that's fun. The art style is cute. If you haven't read this, okay, we're gonna do this last quick. I got 2 more books and my memory is not jiving with me. So The Last Flight by Julie Clark. This follows 2 women, one who's escaping domestic violence and the other who's just running away from her past, which you find out the more you read. They meet in an airport and they decide to exchange. Okay, I have to switch to my other device, so I don't even know if this is gonna work, but final 2 books. I don't even know what I would say. I didn't like Ava's chapters. I thought they were a little lacking, and not lacking, but long-winded. And then I wish it wasn't dual perspective. I wish we would have just had this mysteria around Ava. But at last, here we are. I didn't enjoy the twist that much. There was a twist of like, I guess, spoiler of like how Ava was connected to Claire in a way. It wasn't for me, but I can see how it is for some people. And last book, last but not least, is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I give this book 5 stars. This is beautiful, wonderful, superb book. I listened to it on audiobook and 10 out of 10 recommend that. It's we follow this girl who has a true crime podcast, and it's about like taking you through the evidence and then like letting the people decide if it was real or not, and if like rehashing these cold cases or cases that didn't really make sense when they were brought to court. And she's going to this town to do her first live court case, so she's taking it like the podcast through it. So there's excerpts of the podcast, and then we follow her along with this girl who's leaving notes about her sister's death and how she doesn't believe it was suicide like everyone claims it to be. We get this dual timeline of her flashback writing through these letters to our main character, and I thought the twist was fun. I didn't guess who it was. I thought I had a really strong guess. I thought it would be obvious, but it wasn't. I just really liked this book. I thought it was really fun. Maybe it's just what I needed. Anyways, this is probably too long. This probably looks weird right now. You're probably really close, so I'm sorry for that. Let's say my least favorite book this month was The Book Thief, and my most favorite book was either The Night Swim or Heartstopper Volume 3. Let's leave a swimming emoji. 1, because of the Olympics, and that's one of my favorite sports, and 2, for The Night Swim, because it was my favorite book. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, or whatever, and I hope you have fun celebrating whatever you may be celebrating today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.